This is Momo, the enthusiastic historian, reminding you history isn't boring, it's breathtaking. Did you know Napoleon once sold half of America for just 4 cents an acre? Let's uncover why one of history's greatest conquerors made one of its strangest deals. Let's bring Past Uncovered to life, a YouTube channel hosted by your Momo, the enthusiastic historian, who blends storytelling, excitement, and facts into every video. So, if you love stories that make you go, wait, that really happened, hit subscribe and travel through time with me. I'm Momo, the enthusiastic historian, and this is Past Uncovered, where every fact has a heartbeat.
Let's start now. In the year 1803, a single signature reshaped the map of the world. Napoleon Bonaparte, the self-proclaimed Emperor of France, sold 828,000 square miles of land, territory that would one day make up nearly half of the United States, for the unbelievable price of 4 cents an acre. It was called the Louisiana Purchase, a deal so massive, so unexpected, that even the American envoys sent to negotiate it were left speechless. But behind this legendary bargain was a story of war, ambition, desperation, and fate. A chain of events that no one, not even Napoleon or President Thomas Jefferson, could have predicted. This is the story of how a European emperor's dream of global dominance accidentally gave birth to the modern United States. At the dawn of the 19th century, Napoleon Bonaparte stood at the height of his power. France had emerged from the chaos of revolution, and under Napoleon's rule, it was rising again as the most feared empire in Europe. But Napoleon's ambitions reached far beyond Europe. He wanted to rebuild a French colonial empire across the Atlantic, a new world stronghold that could rival Britain's global dominance. The cornerstone of this dream was the Louisiana Territory, a vast stretch of land that spanned from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, rich in rivers, forests, and farmland. To Napoleon, Louisiana wasn't just land, it was a gateway to empire, a potential jewel that could feed, fund, and fuel his global ambitions. But for all his dreams, there was one major problem: distance. Controlling a colony that massive across the ocean required manpower, resources, and most of all, a strategic base. That base, Napoleon believed, would be Saint-Domingue, today's Haiti. At the time, Haiti was the richest colony in the world, producing massive wealth through sugar and coffee plantations, built, of course, on the suffering of enslaved Africans. But in 1791, enslaved people in Haiti rose up in one of the most powerful and successful revolutions in history. Led by Toussaint Louverture, they defeated European armies again and again, demanding freedom and independence. When Napoleon came to power, he vowed to crush the rebellion and restore French control. He sent an army of over 30,000 troops across the Atlantic, one of the largest expeditionary forces France had ever deployed. But it was a disaster. The French army, unprepared for the tropical climate, was devastated by yellow fever, and Haitian resistance proved unstoppable. By 1803, Napoleon's dream of a Caribbean empire was dead. Haiti became the first independent black republic in the world, and Napoleon realized he could never hold Louisiana without Haiti. He had lost his foothold in the Americas, and worse, war with Britain was brewing again. He needed money, fast. Across the Atlantic, Jefferson watched these events with deep concern. The United States was still a young nation, fragile, uncertain, and hemmed in by European powers on all sides. The Mississippi River and the port of New Orleans were America's lifelines. Farmers in the Western Territories relied on these waterways to send goods to market. If France, or any foreign power, controlled New Orleans, it could choke the entire American economy. So Jefferson made a cautious move. He sent 2 diplomats, James Monroe and Robert Livingston, to Paris with a simple mission: buy New Orleans and a bit of nearby land for $10 million. That was it. They had no authority to buy anything more. What happened next would stun them and the world. In April 1803, as Monroe and Livingston prepared their arguments, Napoleon's ministers approached them with a shocking question. Would the United States like to buy the entire Louisiana Territory? The Americans were stunned. The entire territory, over 828,000 square miles of rivers, mountains, and wilderness. This was more land than anyone had imagined could ever change hands peacefully. Napoleon's reasoning was simple and ruthless. War with Britain was inevitable. France couldn't defend Louisiana, and if he didn't sell it, Britain might seize it anyway. By selling it to the Americans, Napoleon would deny it to Britain and fill his war chest at the same time. For Napoleon, it was a strategic victory before a single shot was fired. For America, it was an opportunity beyond belief. After only a few days of negotiations, the deal was made. $15 million, about $390 million in today's money, for a territory that would double the size of the United States. When word reached President Jefferson, he could hardly believe it himself. He had authorized a small land purchase, and instead his envoys had bought a continent. Not everyone in America was thrilled. The Constitution didn't explicitly say the president could buy land. Jefferson, a strict constitutionalist, wrestled with the decision, but the opportunity was too great to ignore. He convinced Congress to approve the purchase, calling it an act of necessity and destiny. Critics warned that the vast unknown territory was a wilderness that could never be governed. Supporters argued it would secure the future of the nation forever. When the treaty was signed on April 30th, 1803, America's borders instantly stretched from the Atlantic to the Rocky Mountains. The Louisiana Purchase added land that would later become 15 U.S. states, including Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and large parts of North and South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. Ironically, Napoleon's short-term victory brought long-term consequences. The money he gained from the sale funded his wars in Europe. But those wars ultimately led to his downfall. Within a decade, his empire crumbled, and he was exiled to the island of Elba. Meanwhile, the United States flourished. The Louisiana Purchase opened the door to westward expansion, exploration, and new states. Just a year after the deal, Lewis and Clark were sent on their legendary expedition to map and study the new lands, paving the way for pioneers and settlers. In a way, Napoleon's decision to sell Louisiana didn't just reshape the map, it reshaped history itself. Had he kept the territory, the United States might never have become a continental power. Had Britain seized it, the balance of power in the world might have shifted forever. In the end, Napoleon's desperation became America's fortune. For the price of just 4 cents an acre, the United States had secured its destiny, a nation stretching from ocean to ocean. And Napoleon? His empire faded, but his name remains tied to one of the greatest real estate deals in human history. Napoleon thought this was a clever move on his part, but actually it became America's biggest victory. Napoleon lost, America became a superpower. And brother, there has never been a cheaper real estate deal than this in history. That's all we get for today. Like and subscribe in your upcoming Past Uncovered. Don't forget to share your comment.